It's a pleasure to shop where you know you're getting value.
That's why I like to shop at Woolworth.
What a pleasure to shop where it's fun to look and browse around.
That's why I like to shop at Woolworths.
Do you remember the delight of walking into a Woolworths on a lazy weekend? The colorful aisles piled high with trinkets, the unmistakable smell of popcorn wafting from the concession, and the feeling that you could fill a brown paper bag with treasures for just a handful of coins. Woolworths wasn't just a store. It was an experience. For decades, the chain's red facade and 5 cents and 10 cents sign promised fun, affordability, and community. It helped define childhoods and Saturday errands across 2 continents. Yet today, Woolworths is little more than a memory. How did a company that pioneered the 5 and dime model and once built the world's tallest building fade into history? In this video, we'll travel back to where it all began, Utica, New York, and follow the chain as it expanded into a global empire. We'll relive its golden years, discover how it shaped culture, and investigate the missteps and economic storms that brought it down. Stay tuned, because the Woolworths story is filled with surprises and lessons that still resonate. What went wrong with Woolworth? But first, let's rewind to where it all began. Woolworth's story starts with a young clerk named Frank Winfield Woolworth. After working in a dry goods store in Watertown, New York, he scraped together credit and savings to open Woolworth's Great 5-Cent Store in Utica on 22nd February, 1879. That first venture failed and closed after just a few months, but Woolworth wasn't deterred. On 21st June 1879, he opened a second 5-cent store in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Lancaster was a hit, and soon Frank's brother Charles joined him. Their Scranton shop, opened in 1880, perfected the 5 cents and 10 cents model and became an early franchise. Woolworth's innovation wasn't just low prices. He let customers browse and pick up items without a clerk's assistance, a revolutionary idea in an era when most merchandise sat behind counters. To accelerate growth, Woolworth encouraged friends and family to open their own friendly rival stores, all buying merchandise together to maximize purchasing power. By 1904, the syndicate operated 6 chains across the US and Canada, and in 1912, all 596 stores merged into one corporate entity, the F.W. Woolworth Company. The company built the spectacular Woolworth Building in New York City, a cash-paid skyscraper completed in 1913 that became the tallest building in the world until 1930. Woolworth also had global ambitions. In a diary entry written on a buying trip to Europe, he mused that a good penny and sixpence store run by a live Yankee would be a sensation in Britain. He chose Liverpool for his first British branch, opening on Church Street on 5th of November 1909. Managed by William Lawrence Stevenson, the store combined American retail flair with British tastes and was an instant success. After World War I, the British arm expanded rapidly. By 1923, there were 130 branches. The 400th shop opened in Southport in July 1930, the company floated on the London Stock Exchange in 1931, and the 600th store opened in 1934. Woolworths had become a retail phenomenon on both sides of the Atlantic. By the 1930s, Woolworths was a cultural institution. Stores offered everything from sewing notions to toys, cosmetics, records, and even lunch counters. Customers loved the idea of browsing without pressure and buying everyday items at a fixed price. The chain's lunch counters became community meeting places and even the backdrop for major events, like the 1960 Greensboro sit-ins during the Civil Rights Movement. In the United States, Woolworth's growth seemed unstoppable. By its 100th anniversary in 1979, it was recognized as the largest department store chain in the world. Across the Atlantic, Woolworths became a British high street icon. Management invested in Art Deco facades and owned many of their buildings outright. After a brief pause during World War II, expansion resumed. The 800th UK store opened in London's Victoria in 1953, the 1000th in Hove in 1958, and the chain peaked at about 1,141 branches in the late 1960s. Woolworths' pick-and-mix sweet counters became legendary, as did its role as a gateway to pop culture. Many British teenagers bought their first 45 RPM records there. On release days, kids would queue outside, hoping to grab the latest single before it sold out. Woolworths even branched into big box retail with its Woolco hypermarkets and later specialty stores like Foot Locker and Afterthoughts. For a generation, going to Woolies meant affordable fun. It anchored shopping districts, served as a one-stop shop for everything from Christmas ornaments to sunglasses, and held a unique place in family life. Woolworths felt permanent, but the retail landscape was changing. Success can breed complacency, and Woolworths faced mounting challenges from the 1960s onward. In America, the company diversified into specialty formats and away from its five and dime roots. By the early 1980s, Woolco hypermarkets in the US closed, and the company's focus shifted to specialty chains while its traditional department stores languished. Rivals such as Kmart, Target, and Walmart launched discount stores in 1962, offering similar goods at lower prices and larger scale. Supermarkets began stocking housewares and clothing, eating into Woolworth's core categories. Analysts later noted that big box retailers and grocery chains offered lower prices and convenience, eroding Woolworth's market share. In the United States, revenue from Woolworth stores dwindled as competition grew. By 1997, the F.W. Woolworth Corporation decided to close all remaining U.S. department stores. The parent company restructured, sold or closed its Canadian branches, and rebranded itself as Venator, later becoming Foot Locker. While the legal entity survived, the iconic Woolworths name vanished from American streets. Britain's Woolies seemed healthier at first, but trouble was brewing. After World War II, competitors pioneered self-service formats. Woolworths adopted self-service, but rolled it out slowly, giving supermarkets a head start. In the 1970s, the company closed about 15 stores per year to fund refurbishments. It tried out-of-town hypermarkets under the Big W brand and other experiments, but many initiatives fizzled. By the 1990s, merchandise lines were rationalized, and older city center stores were downsized or abandoned. The market for physical music, once a major draw, shrank as CDs, and later digital downloads took hold. Supermarkets and discount chains like Wilkinson undercut Woolworths on price, while pound shops mimicked its value proposition. The final blow came from financial mismanagement and a global crisis. By 2008, Woolworths Group plc was saddled with roughly $385 million of debt and modest cash reserves. Supply chain problems meant some stores were overstocked with seasonal items and understocked on basics, frustrating customers. As banks withdrew credit insurance and demanded immediate payment, the company ran out of cash. Analysts later blamed its downfall on a toxic mix of low cash reserves, lost credit insurance, and crippling debt, all exacerbated by the 2008 financial crisis. In November 2008, administrators were appointed. Sky News noted that the company took 99 years to build, but only 42 days to collapse. Deloitte announced all 807 Woolworths shops would close between 27 December 2008 and 6 January 2009, resulting in 27,000 job losses. The Guardian reported that workers were told the final stores would open their doors to the public for the last time on 5 January 2009, and that administrators struggled to find a buyer amid the credit crunch. This rapid collapse shocked the public. Customers crowded stores for clearance sales, but by early January, the red signs were gone from British high streets. Analysts pointed out that Woolworths still recorded modest profits in 2007, Yet cash flow is like oxygen. You can be profitable on paper, but without cash to pay bills, it's game over. Retail experts argued that Woolworths ignored long-term trends like digital music and online shopping, just as Blockbuster would later underestimate streaming. The lesson is clear. Beloved brands cannot rest on nostalgia. They must continually adapt to new technologies, consumer habits, and economic realities. Failing to evolve can turn an icon into a cautionary tale. Even though the physical stores are gone, Woolworth's legacy endures. The corporate entity lives on through Foot Locker Inc., the sporting goods chain that grew out of Woolworth's shoe division and retains its stock history. In the UK, former employees and fans keep memories alive through online forums and virtual museums. News reports recall how it took nearly a century to build the brand and just 6 weeks to dismantle it. In pop culture, Woolworths is immortalized as the stage for the Greensboro sit-ins, a pivotal moment in the US civil rights movement. And in Britain, the term Woolies still evokes pick-and-mix sweets and childhood shopping trips. Interestingly, the Woolworth name has been adopted elsewhere. In Australia, it labels a giant supermarket chain unrelated to the US or UK company, while in Germany and Mexico, separate Woolworth chains continue under different ownership. Yet for those who grew up with the five and dime, nothing replaces the thrill of wandering its aisles. Did you ever race to grab a bargain at Woolworths? Did you fill a bag with candy or buy your first record there? Share your memories in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. And if you enjoyed this journey through retail history, don't forget to subscribe for more blasts from the past. Each week we explore the rise, fall, and legacy of the brands and technologies that defined our lives.